Hello YouTube, it's me TFL Wilderness. Welcome to my channel and welcome to the second to last video that I'm going to be doing on this channel for the year of 2023. And it's my first bots, or my best bots, or my top 12 bots of 2023. I did my worst bots video a couple of days ago. And a little caveat I said at the beginning of that video, I'm going to repeat here. The way I generate my top bot lists for any given year is that every month I have a sizable disposable income, and it allows me to buy lots of bots every month. And at the end of every month I do end of month bot haul, where I show you all the Transformer related items I got throughout the month. And at the end of that video I like to do what's called the first and worst, where I pick the most favourite figure that I got and the worst favourite figure, the best and the worst bot that I got throughout any given month, and I hold them up and go, here's the first and worst. And at the end of 12 months that gives me 12 bots to form the basis of my the best and worst bots at the end of the year. Now this year this system has been giving me a bit of bother. It's been causing me problems because there's been a number of occasions this year where I've got to the end of the video and it's not been a clear-cut choice as to what was the best and the worst figure I got. I did struggle with the worst a little bit, but the first bots have been a real challenge, a real struggle this year. And throughout the year there was at least 6 or 7 occasions whereby I got to the end of the video and I had to choose on the spot what was my first bot. And some of the bots on this list, in my opinion, don't deserve to be there. There was other bots possibly in the honourable mentions that could have trumped them, or other bots that aren't even on this list at all that maybe should have been there instead. So without that said, let's get started on this. Now I do these videos in order of chronological purchase, i.e. 12 months, January through to December, so I'll do them in monthly order of purchase. And like I said, I've got a sea of plastic next to me, ready to go. So let's get cracking, shall we? So, the first bot that I got, or the first bot that, in my opinion, was the best bot I got in January. And this one, I will admit, this was one of the ones that was a bit of a struggle for me, is this guy. Takara Masterpiece MP36 Trailbreaker. Now, I haven't got a list of the bots I got in January, but there wasn't much choice. There wasn't a great variety of bots to pick in January, and nothing really jumped out. And it was a case of, right, okay, so let's pick something according to favourite character and other factors, other favourite factors. And Trailbreaker is one of my favourite characters, and also the main reason why I picked this guy is because he's an official masterpiece of Trailbreaker, and Trailbreaker's alt mode is a Toyota Hilux, pickup truck. And yeah, I love the Toyota Hilux pickup truck. It's one of my favourite vehicles of all time. I like off-road vehicles anyway, but the Toyota Hilux is a particular favourite of mine, especially like the 1970s and 80s variant, where it is like the square one. This is an officially licensed Toyota Hilux, which is the reason why I got it. I've got other variants of Masterpiece Trailbreaker. I've got the Bad Cube one, and I've got a version of the Mastermind Creations, Perfection Series Trailbreaker. So I've got a few versions, Masterpiece Trailbreaker versions, but I had to get this one because of the officially licensed Hilux alt mode. Now, in order to do this video, I've had to, because he was in his box, in his vehicle mode, so I've just had to, literally 10 minutes ago, I had to transform this guy into robot mode. I did it using the instructions because I couldn't be bothered to wing it like I usually do and mess it up. The first time I transformed this guy, I did my usual thing where I sort of, went along ad hoc, kind of, and I missed a few steps, and when I first transformed it, he didn't quite fit together properly. But then later on I found out there was a few steps I missed. I corrected those steps, and then once he plugged together properly, I was much happier with the figure. And because I transformed this using the official transformation, he's all right. It's Trailbreaker. He forms a Hilux, and that was my main reason why I made him my top bot in January. He's a good figure in himself, a little bit lanky. Some of the proportions are a little odd on this guy, but you know, it's Trailbreaker. You know, I like Trailbreaker. Got this version. Obviously, he's in this more of this smoky sort of grey rather than the jet black, but you know, it's a masterpiece. It's official. You know, it's licensed and all that stuff, and that's why I decided to make him my best bot of January. So that's Masterpiece MP 56 Trailbreaker. Then moving on to February. Now, I've watched a few top bot lists for this year that other people have done so far, and this figure is cropping up both in its original colours and in the bludgeon repaint it got later on in the year. Legacy Evolution Voyager class Tarn. Now, again, February, it was a bit of a struggle to pick the best bot, but the reason I picked Tarn is because Tarn, you know, the enigmatic leader of the Decepticon Justice Division from the IDW More Than Meets the Eye and Lost Light comics. Fantastic character, you know, he can literally kill you by whispering in your ear. He has that ability to kill Transformers just by quietly talking to them. You know, he can whisper people to death. He's also a complete and utter badass. He's got his double fusion cannon. You know, he's an amazing figure. I've got the, you know, the Mastermind Creations Coulter. I've got the Iron Factory Doobie. I've got, you know, various, you know, the third party variants of this character, but. You know, because he was an officially, you know, he was a comic character that was exclusive to the comics. I was a bit worried that, you know, he was actually going to make it into the official toy line. But then he appeared in Cyberverse season 3, or was it season 4? You know, the final season of Cyberverse. You know, he appeared in that as well. And then he got announced for Legacy Evolution for the first wave, Legacy Evolution, and we got an official Tarn in plastic colours, and they said he came from the comic universe. So yeah, he's an IDW character that's crossed over into the official Transformers canon, and that's fantastic. Yes, this figure is appearing on a lot of people's top bots list, especially the bludgeon repaint that they did later in the year. Quite rightly so. I mean, it's an amazing figure. Super articulated. I mean, it just looks like Tarn. I think the proportions are a little off compared to, you know, some of the third party offerings I've got. You know, he looks a little bit skinny and lanky, but it's still Tarn. It's still Tarn, and that was enough to make him my top bot of February. So Legacy Evolution Voyager Tarn, an officially licensed Tarn or officially made Tarn in toy form. Get in, we finally got one. Right, March. Now, March, I went to the TF Nation Minicon at Manchester, and there was a couple of people there that were doing, you know, third-party figures. There was Primetime Toys, who had a huge table full of some really tempting bots, and I picked up quite a few figures from them. There was a couple of other guys like Legends of Cybertron. He was there as well, doing a few things. But I picked up a few bots from Primetime Toys, you know, third-party plastic, and one of them figures I picked up when I got to, you know, to pick my best bot for March. Again, March was again a bit of a challenge for me to pick a best bot, but I picked this guy mainly because of the company that made him and the paintwork on the toy. So my pick for best bot I picked up in March, Toyworld TW was it GS02 Whiskey Jack weathered version. Now, Toyworld sort of dabbled in the Legends. They did a few Legends figures. They did this mould both in Wheeljack and in exhaust colours. They also did a Transmetal Grim, not Transmetal Grimlock, Transmetal Megatron for Legends as well, but they repainted that as Grimlock. Yeah, so this figure, Toyworld. I'm a bit of a Toyworld fanboy on the quiet. I've got a lot of Toyworld stuff, for better or for worse. They don't seem to be doing so much these days. I don't know whether Toyworld is still going as a company, but they sort of changed tactics, and they're sort of doing movie masterpiece stuff, and they're dabbling in Legends. Yeah, this thing. The paintwork on it, because it's the weathered version, it's got all the dirty, sort of paintwork, because it's a realistic version of the Lancia Stratos rally car, and it's covered in all the mud and the splatter and stuff like that, and it looks absolutely amazing in alt mode. It's got all the Lancia, Alitalia, sort of livery and sponsor decals on it. Looks amazing. Neat little transformation. Not the most articulated thing. I mean, it's missing a few articulation joints. It hasn't got a waist joint. It hasn't got thigh swivels, but it's got everything else. And the way it transforms, negates some of the intermediate articulation that it's missing. But apart from that, it's still a fantastic figure. Very solid construction, neat little transformation, awesome figure, and Toyworld. So that sort of made it that pipped it to the post for me in March as one of the best bots I got in March. Toyworld, TWGS02 Whiskey Jack weathered version. Neat little figure. Then on to April. April was... I was spoilt for choice in April for best bots. There was so much good stuff I got in April, and a couple of the figures that I got in April are now migrated to my honourable mentions list at the end of the video. So I was spoilt for choice. There was at least 3 or 4 figures that qualified, in my opinion, for top bot of the month. But the bot that I picked was a huge surprise to me. It was a massive surprise. I picked it up at the NEC Toy Fair, and it was a case of, I was walking down one of the aisles, I glanced across and I saw it on somebody's table, and I dismissed it straight away because I knew it was a dirty, filthy, sort of tacky knockoff, bot. But then I went down, I looked at a few more things, and then I decided to come back, and I picked it up and had a look at it, and I thought, there's something about this thing, I've just got to have it. So I bought it. It didn't cost me much. And the guy said, as you bought that, you had some other sort of KOs of a similar quality there, including oversized KOs of Siege Hound as well, which he offered to sell me one of those half price. And it was like, nah, I'm all right. I'm good with this one. But then I got home and started messing with it. And it was like, wow. This thing has got no right to be as good as it actually is. And it's the second appearance of Tarn on this first bots list of 2023. KO Oversized, Iron Factory Doobie, or knockoff Tarn bot. I mean, look at this thing. Look at the colours on it. I mean, Tarn. I mean, where's the other one? Right. Okay, Tarn. Right. He's supposed to be like purple and black and gold and silver and those sort of colours, and then you've got this thing in like the bright white, the lime green and the dark green, and it's outrageous. Now it's an oversized upscaling of the Iron Factory Doobie, which was the Iron Factory Tarn, but it's been ridiculously simplified. It's also typical KO. It's like super hollow plastic. Right, but and the transformation, right? The transformation is parts formery, right? You have to take the gun off. You have to pull the arms off, right? You have to pull the arms off. You have to pull the shoulders off, right? So you fold the shoulders round to form the tracks. The torso, you fold that bit up, fold the feet round, and plug them in. And you plug that together, so you get that. Then you get these pieces, and you plug the tracks onto the back. You get the gun goes on the top, and the arms sort of plug on top there. And there you go. So yeah, it's got parts forming. As we know, that's like red rag to a bull. That's like, you know, Transformers should transform with all their parts intact. And this thing has got all that parts forming to make it work. And then you get the alt mode, which is that. But, you know, it's... The plastic quality this thing's made from is surprising, actually. It's kind of soft. It doesn't feel like it's going to break. And it's got some very thin sort of, you know, sort of peg ports on it. That are, you know, like these ports here for the shoulders. That plug on there. And then you've got the plugs for the arms. And you think it's going to break, you know, and it doesn't. It's the plastic quality is surprisingly good on this thing, you know, for a knockoff especially. It's got all the hollowness, it's got the parts forming and all that stuff, you know, but it just works. It's one of those figures that, for whatever reason, it just works. It's got no right to be as good as it actually is. And I did a review on this thing, and it did surprisingly well. And I mean, he's like his hollowness, his no articulation. You know, he's got nothing on the head. He's got a bit on the shoulder, no elbows. You know, he's got like bicep swivel, I suppose. Nothing at the waist. Ball joint. Is it ball jointed hip? Yeah, ball jointed hip. And then it's got a deep knee bend. But I just love this thing. I mean, the colours just pop so hard on this. I love the colours on this thing. It just blew me away how good it is, given how bad it should be. And it's a complete, you know, it shouldn't be this good. It should be a dirty, filthy knockoff. But it just works for me so hard as what it is, and I absolutely love this thing. And it was, I got so much good stuff in April. But this thing, it just rose to the top, and the other figures that I got, they just got relegated to the honourable mention because of the way I do my first bots. But this thing, Oversized KO, Iron Factory Doobie, or, you know, knockoff, you know, lime coloured Tarn. It's like this thing, absolutely amazing figure, and the best bot in my opinion that I got in April. Right, so moving on to May. Right, went to the TFUK convention in Birmingham. Again, What's It was there as well. What they call Primetime Toys were there again. Ben's Collectibles was there as well. He was selling stuff because he was getting ready to emigrate to Canada. I went to that convention, very, very, very sort of small convention, not massively big. I mean, it was limited to, I think, 300 patrons or something like that. You had to, you know, pre-book your ticket in advance. But I went there, and it was a good little convention, and I picked up a few bits. And then at the end of the month, it was, it was a struggle to pick a best bot that I got. So I looked at all of the bots I got, and I looked at the figures that I picked up at, you know, like the TFUK con. And I decided that I was going to, you know, make this guy the best bot, mainly because of the character that it is and the company that made it. New Age, what was it? NA-H52 Medic ER. So it's basically New Age's, you know, because New Age did an earlier sort of mould, a slightly smaller sort of Legends mould of Ratchet that they did 3 different variants of. I mean, I bought the Riddick version of that. It's smaller, but it's the engineering on it's different. So they tried again. And this time they came up with something that's a bit more, you know, sort of the size that you'd expect. Now, I bought this because Ratchet. I like Ratchet. I like G1 Ratchet, or Ratchet in general. He's one of my favourite characters. From the G1, Ratchet, I mean, you got Ratchet and Ironhide. I couldn't care less about Ironhide. Ironhide is a very popular character with people who are fans of the cartoon series. I can't stand the cartoon series. I don't watch it. I read the comics, and in the comics, Ratchet got, you know, quite a few storylines dedicated to his character, and he had quite a lot of character development in the Marvel G1 comics, and I really like him for that. But the New Age Medic, great little figure, intuitive transformation, very, very clever. It's New Age. We all know New Age stuff is really good. It's well painted. Looks like Ratchet. It's a little bit... No, it's got a lot of pan lines on it. That's my only... One of the gripes I've got with this figure. It's got a lot of excessive pan lines on it. And later on in the honourable mentions, well, a bit of a teaser for the honourable mentions. I've got the Magic Square one, and in my opinion, it's a better figure than this guy because of a number of reasons. But this figure is still pretty good, and I thought, looking at what I got in May, I thought, well, it's New Age, it's Ratchet, that's enough, you know, to make him the best bot that I got in May. Like I said, he's got good paint, good engineering. It's a great character, you know, it's New Age. What's not to like? So he qualified for the top bots in May, though he probably isn't the best figure that I got in May, in my opinion, because, you know, I wasn't exactly spoiled for choice in that month. But I kind of made him the best bot, but he's still a good figure. So yeah, he's the best bot for May. Right, June. Now, June was a toss-up. It was two figures that I got in June, both leader classes, official leader classes. One was from Studio Series, and one was from Legacy Evolution. And I looked at them, and it was like, I can't really choose between them. I got them towards the end of the month. They were both figures I'd pre-ordered, and they turned up. And the other one is on the honourable mentions list. But the figure that I went for, quite simply because of his character. Legacy Evolution Armada Megatron. Now, this guy, nostalgia factor, definitely. I only started collecting Transformers as an adult in 2014, and in 2015 I picked up my original Armada Megatron at... I originally saw it at an NEC Toy Fair, but then later on I saw the same figure at a Stoneleigh car boot sale. And I picked it up at the car boot sale for about £6. He was missing all his accessories, so I went online. I bought a missile for him. I bought a set of mini-cons for him, and he was missing his antlers. So I made some antlers out of plasticard. I shaped and painted them, and he's got like homemade, you know, sort of aftermarket parts on him. And I absolutely love that thing because as an adult collector, it was the first large or official leader Megatron figure that I got as an adult collector, and because of that, he's you know, had quite a profound effect on me, and I've got big nostalgia boner for him, you know. And also because Armada Megatron, you know, he's absolutely bristling with minicon gimmicks as well. And then when they said they was doing a like a legacy leader class upgrade of that figure, I was all on board, you know, to get it. So I actually got it, and he's a great figure. He's got all the articulation you could want, pretty much. I think, okay, some people are a bit complaining about the fact that the shoulders are static, but there is a third-party fix for that, so that you can get articulating shoulders out of him. But the only gripe I have with this figure is they engineered out most of the minicon gimmicon, and he hasn't actually got any minicon ports on him. He's just got the usual 5mm ports on him. Now, somebody needs to make a minicon port adapter for the 5mm port. Basically, it's like a double-ended minicon port that you can plug in the 5mm port and turn it into a minicon port. Somebody needs to do that, especially for this figure. And then you could kit him out with all the minicon ports, and then you could plug minicons all over him and make him the figure that he should be. But apart from that, it was a nostalgia feels for the original Armada Megatron that I picked up, and then they did this version, and yeah, he's got all the articulation you could want. They've just announced Titan class tidal wave that's going to have parts that will fit onto this to give him his powered up mode. And also, we're probably going to get a Galvatron repaint of this down the line, and I'd definitely like to get a Galvatron repaint because those colours just pop so hard on this mould. But Megatron, I'm a fan of Megatron anyway. Mostly there, look in my detail, all my Megatron gun formers in there. Yeah, I'm a fan of Megatron as a character, and Armada Megatron because of that figure that I got a few years ago. But yeah, got this guy. He's brilliant, and he pipped the post for the top bot I got against the other leader class figure that I got, which is as an honourable mention. But it was even Stevens. It could have been either of them, but this guy, because it's Armada Megatron, he got the thumbs up. He got the go. He was the best bot that I got in June. Okay, right, moving on to July. This one was a no-brainer. This is one of the few figures that I got this year which was like, yeah, he's top bot. Studio Series 101 Leader Class Rise of the Beasts Terracon Scourge. Wow. This thing is amazing. And now I know there's some people that say he's not quite screen accurate and don't like him quite as much as they ought to. Everyone's welcome to their own opinion. But me, the alt mode. I mean, that alt mode, you could have plucked it straight out of a Mad Max movie. Either, Fury Road or Beyond Thunderdome. You could just pop him in there and he'd look right at home. I love the Mad Max, truck mode that he's got. And then the robot mode. I mean, look at this thing. The transformation is wild on this thing. It's amazing. The axe is actually part of his robot mode. It doesn't come off. Well, not supposed to come off. And when I was transforming it for the first time, I was trying to transform it into robot mode, into vehicle mode, and I was thinking, where the hell does the axe go? I couldn't fathom out. The axe had nowhere to go. And I didn't realise it's got this extra joint in the arm which folds out, and then the axe tucks between the legs of the. It folds up and tucks between the legs in the vehicle mode. And once I figured that out, it was like genius. It blew my mind. Yeah, this thing is such an amazing figure. So articulated, looks totally badass. Amazing light piping, he's got the, you can pull the arm off, put the gun on and all that stuff. And he's apparently got, freezer, you can use freezer with him as an accessory. But I love this thing. I love this thing so much. He was a no-brainer for the best bot I got in July. He really was. He's amazing. And I want to get, after watching Rise of the Beast movie, which is alright, I've got the Blu-ray downstairs, I haven't actually watched it yet, but I went to see it in the pictures, and it was a decent film, it was pretty good. Scourge is such a badass character in that movie, and this, I think, is a worthy toy of him, even though some people say it's not quite screen accurate, but still, I like it. It was the best thing I got in July. Studio Series 101 Leader Class Scourge. No brainer. Right, August TF Nation, as we know. I did my usual thing. I saved up a bunch of money, went to the convention with a big wad of cash, and bought a lot of things. And it was obvious that I was going to pick something up at the convention that was going to qualify as my best bot of the year. However, there was another bot that I got before the convention that, in my opinion, was a first bot contender. But because he got outshone by this bot that I actually chose as my first bot, he's now been relegated to the, to like the honourable mentions. But, in my opinion, he should have been a first bot. But when I got this thing, it was like, it was obvious. On the Saturday morning, on the Toy Foo stall, I saw a figure, and it's a black repaint of an Optimus Prime mould that I hadn't got and I'd heard great things about, and I wanted to give it a go. Takara Prime First Edition, Voyager Dark Optimus. So it's the Transformers Prime First Edition mould, but in Nemesis colours. And wow. I mean, it's the first time I've had the hands on with the Transformers Prime First Edition Optimus Prime mould, and wow, this thing does not disappoint. I mean, this figure itself is quite play worn. It's got a few loose joints. Some things don't, plug on quite properly. It's also got, distortion on the rubbery parts, but the engineering on the mould just shines through all that, and any sort of wear and tear it's got on it just doesn't factor into my like of this thing. It is absolutely amazing. I had to transform it back a couple of times in the last couple of days just for the hell of it, and the engineering on this thing is like, ooh, chef's kiss. It's absolutely amazing the way it works. Awesome figure. Love it to bits. Bought it from Toy Foo, so yeah, money went to charity and all that stuff. Yeah, so yeah. Takara Prime First Edition Dark Optimus or Nemesis Prime. Top bot, baby. Top bot. Right, so now moving on to September. Now, what I just said about a bot that I got before TF Nation last year, that in my opinion should have been a first bot. There's a situation. My fault. I should have done it. Where that bot should have been the bot that I got in September. But as it happens, I got them in an opposite order to the way I should have got them. And in September, it was a bit of a challenge. It was one of those months whereby I couldn't quite figure out what my best bot was. And I picked this guy because, one, it's a Korean bot. Two, it's a big, impressive bot. It's got all the ratchet joints and the build quality that you'd expect from a big, impressive bot. I do have my issues with it. The alt mode the proportions on the alt mode are all wrong in my opinion, considering it's supposed to be an officially licensed vehicle mode. But the bot I decided, my first bot in September 2023, Tobot 2023 Tobot Y. Now, in my opinion, this figure shouldn't be in this spot. He shouldn't be the best bot I got in September. What should be the best bot I got in September is his wave mate, Tobot 2023 Tobot Z, who I got in August. I got it before TF Nation, and I actually took it to TF Nation and showed it to a few people and impressed a few people with it. Should have got that. I should have got them because I picked up the new 2023 Tobot figures. You've got X, Y, and Z, and I picked them up X, Z, and Y. And I should have done it X, Y, Z. If I'd have done it X, Y, Z, then this guy wouldn't have been the best spot that I got in September. It would have been Tobot Z. And this guy probably wouldn't even appeared on this list at all. He would have been just a so-so bot rather than a bot that deserves a top bot nomination. But I mean, he's still a decent bot. His robot mode is good. He's got, all the sort of clicky joints. Good transformation. The articulation is not bad on this guy. I mean, he's got that. He hasn't got a waist joint. He hasn't got bicep swivels. He's missing a few articulation joints. But he looks great. He's a good character in the show. He's all right. And out of the figures that I got in September, he was probably one of the biggest, most impressive bots that I got in September. But it should have been Tobot Z. It should have been. But because of the way I bought these figures, the order I bought them in was totally messed up. And I really regret doing that now. I should have bought this guy in August and then bought the other one in September. But I decided to do it the other way round because I'd heard great things about Tobot Z and decided to get it before this guy. Big mistake. But, well, I have regrets over that. But this guy, he then became the top bot that I got in September. But honestly, in my opinion, he doesn't deserve to be here. But he is, and he is the best bot that I got in September. Then in October. Now October. Oops. October was an interesting month. I got some pretty good stuff in October, and two bots in particular that I got of a particular character that I'm a fan of, and I couldn't decide between them. So I took the unusual step. So the best bot I got in October, instead of it being an individual figure, I made it a character. So in October, the best character, Transformers character that I got in October is the character of Ultra Magnus. So I got the Studio Series 86 Commander Class Ultra Magnus. Amazing figure, absolutely astounding figure, really, really cool. Got him, but I also got the Doctor Wu Tactical Commander. This little sort of like micro masterpiece Ultra Magnus from Doctor Wu. And this thing, I love this thing just as much as this thing. I could not decide which figure was the best, which is why I took that unusual step of making them both of them my best bot of October, by saying that the best bot of October was the character of Ultra Magnus rather than an individual mould. If I had to pick between them, I think it would be this guy, because he's so cute. He's got a white prime inside. You know, the way the engineering works on this, I mean, yeah, it's slightly compromised. It transforms kind of like the Kingdom one, because it's a bit parts formery, but that's because of its size, its scale. But you look at the thing when it's you know, it's all transformed up, and it's absolutely amazing. But then, you know, I got one of the smallest, you know, Ultra Magnus figures and one of the largest, you know, in this month, and I couldn't choose between them. The Studio Series 86, such a transformation, you know, really fun transformation. Obviously, he's got the gimmick there where his chest flips open to show a matrix. Some people are saying that he's a bit too wide. I mean, that's mainly because of the shoulders, because, you know, the shoulders are made up of all these sort of panels from the alt mode, which are just concertinaed up into his shoulder. That makes his shoulders look extra chunky and wide. Were it not for that, you know, if it had just been a single folded panel, then it probably would have looked a lot better. But I don't mind. It's just a nature. It's just a quirk of the transformation that makes him look that way. But in my opinion, Ultra Magnus should be chunky and blocky. That's the nature of his character. I mean, I became a fan of Ultra Magnus after reading the Marvel G1, you know, sort of Target 2006, where Ultra Magnus was introduced into the comics, you know, because he was a new toy that came out in 1986, the new leaders with Galvatron, and he had his epic battle with Galvatron in Target 2006, drawn by Jeff Senior, one of my favourite, you know, artists from the Marvel G1 era, and his rendition of Ultra Magnus is in my opinion the best way, the best image, or the best, you know, figure of Ultra Magnus that's ever been drawn. He draws him super, you know, blocky and chunky, and that's what this figure does. That's what this figure is. I mean, yeah, he's got the extra Combiner Wars ports on his arms and legs so that he can come apart for that scene in Transformers the movie where he gets blown up by the sweeps on the planet of Junk. But you know, it's an excellent figure. It's a really great figure, and you know, then I got this guy, and this guy is also excellent and amazing, the way the transformation works on this. And he's so cute and, you know, chibi. And I just love them both so much. I love the character of Ultra Magnus. I got two amazing Ultra Magnus toys in October. I couldn't decide between them. So I took the unusual step of making the best bot I got in October as the character of Ultra Magnus, and that's why both these figures qualify for top bot in October. Right, so winding down now, 40 minutes in, let's do November. November was a surprise, actually. It really was. Crossover figure, that came out, that got released. I saw it, I pre-ordered it, and it arrived pretty quick. And when I got it, I started messing with it and thought, wow, this thing's amazing. But it was the packaging that went with this crossover. They went above and beyond with the packaging on this guy. And I'll just show you the packaging. Yeah, the Surfer Boy pizza box with the moulded pizza inside and the moulded, grease stains. It is the Stranger Things crossover. Stranger Things crossover, Voyager, Code Red. Wow, this thing is so good. Now, it's a crossover from the Stranger Things Netflix show. I've never watched it. I've got no intention of watching it. It means nothing to me. I can't bring myself to watch it, even though I've got a Netflix account. But this thing it's an officially licensed alt mode. It is a Volkswagen T3 Transporter or Vanago. And it's in these colours. It's in this pale powder yellow with this off-white. Oh, just the colours alone just works so well. And then you get this Boston robot out of it. And the accessories, he gets the pizza sign, which turns into a gun. You then get a little pizza box to go with him as well. And you get all the blast effects and all the, those transparent weapons. The transformation's fun and intuitive. I mean, I was looking at this mould and thinking, they must have re-engineered the Studio Series, 86 Voyager class Ironhide or Ratchet mould to get this mould. No, it's a brand new mould, and we'll probably never see this mould again because of the nature of the way these officially licensed figures work. They get a mould that's specifically licensed to a figure, to a particular IP, and then that's it. That it's locked into that particular promotion, and that mould will never see the light of day again. But amazing figure. I can thoroughly recommend it. I liked it so much, I did a review on this thing. I did a review on it because I was that impressed by it. I should have done my review a few days earlier than I actually did. I put it up and it did quite well for a couple of hours until Prime vs. Prime's video went up, and then it just, the viewing figures on my video just died a death. But I still got my review up before Prime vs. Prime because he's one of those guys who likes to review stolen moulds. Moulds that are stolen off the production line, and he reviews them before their official release date, or sometimes he even reviews them before the toys officially revealed by Hasbro and Takara. I don't agree with that, but he had to buy his Netflix Stranger Things crossover figure and review it officially like everyone else, and I got my review out before him, and that made me happy, even though when his video came out it killed the views of my video off. But still, I love this figure. This figure is so great. It's nice and clean. It's got a fun transformation, awesome alt mode, amazing packaging. It's the whole thing. It's the whole ensemble with this guy. He's just amazing, and he was an obvious choice for the best bot I got in November. So now we get on to December, and this is a teaser because I haven't done my end of month bot haul yet for December, so I haven't actually showed you these figures. Did my worst bot a couple of days ago, so I showed the worst bot for December that was as a teaser. So now I'm going to show you my best bot for December. And again, December, the stuff I got some decent stuff this month, and again, there was a few bots that should have qualified. But I think this bot, because of its size and its quality, it had to be this thing. It had to be. I've done a review on it, done an unboxing on it. Hello Carbot Gem Wingbird Gem. Now, I like to have a Korean toy on my top bots of the year list, and I've got one with Tobot Y, who shouldn't have been there, but he is there. He was the top bot in September. But this thing, the unusual gimmick of the Wingbird thing, where you have this transparent bird which turns into like a chest and a headpiece, and then you've got this big gap in the robot, and it just sort of plugs in like that. There is interchangeability between the gem creatures, and the robot is the gem, the bird gem is, well, Wingbird is this is Wingbird. That's Wingbird, not this. This is just like a power armor that it plugs into. That's the way the gimmick works. Yes, the gem animals are made out of transparent plastic, but it's very thick, chunky transparent plastic, and I've been messed with it a bunch of times, and I've got no signs of stress marks on it. I'm not worried. But this figure, big figure, got the usual sort of ratitude that you expect from a big Korean toy. Surprisingly articulated, hasn't got any bicep swivels or a waist joint, but it's got these extra joints on the foot, and it's surprising that the feet with these extra joints on the legs, you know, it gives it a surprisingly, no, it hasn't got any ankle tilts per se, but you know, with the extra joints moving the feet forwards and backwards, you can get some surprising poses out of this. The Alt mode is a beautiful, you know, sort of like modern, you know, sort of coupe sports car that kind of looks like a Jaguar F-Type in my opinion. But the bot is big, it's heavy, it's well made. You know, it's got the gimmick with the gem animal, but it's a great figure, and I really liked it. And after I did the review, I decided, you know, maybe it's a candidate for the best bot I got this month. So yeah, here it is, the best bot for December, and the last bot on my main sort of top bot lists for 2023. Hello Carbot Gem, Wingbird Gem. So there we go. Now, I have got some honourable mentions. I have mentioned them quite a lot in this video because there's a few figures on my honourable mentions list which quite rightly could have been on my top bots list, but for one reason or another they just got relegated to honourable mentions. First of which I got in March, Magic Square MSB45 Ryu. So this is the Magic Square Ratchet. Now, obviously, earlier in the year, I got the New Age one, but here's the Magic Square one. Now, I do prefer the Magic Square one, and I think this is a better figure. It's much cleaner in its alt mode. It hasn't got all that panel lining on. The transformation is very complex, very fiddly, but at the same time it's quite intuitive. So it's more of a bear to transform this thing than it is the New Age one. But the alt mode is more realistically proportioned to the real world vehicle than the New Age one. The New Age one kind of looks a bit like a blocky, stunted van. This thing looks more like the Nissan Vanette that it's based upon. So I really like this figure. It's really good. But who was he up against? March. Toyworld Whiskey Jack. Yeah. So yeah, I picked up Toyworld Whiskey Jack at the TF Nation Minicon, and I got this from Legends of Cybertron guy. Got it from him. Great figure. Obviously, he was up against this guy, but Whiskey Jack won because Toyworld and the paint job on it. But this is still a great figure, don't get me wrong. It's a really good figure, and he was my honourable mention for March. Then April. April was I was spoilt for choice in April. April was the month that I got this ridiculous thing. But yeah, I got a couple of other figures that in my opinion, were shoo-in, were qualified for a top bot. Starting with this guy, MPH Studios, MPH S01 Xiao Beng. This thing is incredible, absolutely incredible. It is a sub-legend, or like a micro-scale beachcomber. I bought it because I like to collect beachcomber. But this thing, it's insane. The articulation, the engineering on it is like, it's amazing. It's so tiny, but it's all the engineering on it is pin joints. It's all pin joints. It's got a couple of ball joints on it, but the rest of it is all pin joints. Little tiny pins. It's got a neat little transformation. The alt mode is a little bit distorted and stunted, but apart from that, it's an amazing figure. And articulation, it's got ankle joints. It's got like a 90-degree ab crunch. You know, it's got bicep swivels, thigh swivels, waist joint. You know, it's got virtually everything you could want apart from a wrist swivel. Amazing figure. And this company that's made this, MPH Studios or Mengpi Hao Studios, they've announced, or they've got on pre-order, an Optimus Prime or a mold, and they've also said they're going to be doing a White Prime Ultra Magnus version, and they've also got a Warpath as well that they're doing. I'm so impressed with this figure. I'm looking forward to seeing what this company does next. And in 2024, keep your eyes on MPH Studios. They are going to produce some absolute miracles. And this thing, if this is a sign of things to come from this company, I am like very keen to sample some more of their products, because this thing is so amazingly unbelievable. And it would have been the best spot that I got in April were it not for me getting this thing. And another bot I got in April, and this bot has appeared on a few people's top bots list this year. Legacy Evolution Crashbar. I was not very this figure, right, when I saw it, I wasn't feeling it. I wasn't, didn't like the look of it too much. Well, the alt mode, the bike mode looked a bit chunky and blocky. Wasn't feeling it. But then I picked it up at the NEC Toy Fair. It was the same event that I picked this guy up at. And I got it from Sven of the Geekology. And then when I got home and started messing with it, I thought, wow, this thing's awesome. The transformation on it is superb. Yes, there's a bit of parts forming involved with some of the bits for his alt mode, but it just works so well. The head sculpt, I mean, his head sculpt, he just looks like if Lemmy from Motorhead could be a transformer. This would be him, Crashbar. It looks like Lemmy's head as a robot. I love that. And this thing, the engineering on it, the articulation, the colours, everything is like top drawer on it. I do get some issues in some of the ports on it. I'm getting stress marks on some of the ports. But apart from that, it's absolutely amazing figure, and I'm blown away by it. But again, because I got it in April, it was up against this guy, so he lost out and became an honourable mention. So there we go. Third honourable mention, sorry. Now the fourth one in June. Where is he? Obviously, I got this guy in June, but I said it was a toss-up between another, leader class bot. Studio Series 86 Dinobot Snarl. Yeah. So I got these guys in June, and it was like, which one's the best one? And it was Megatron. It was Armada Megatron character that won out. But Snarl, yeah, he's an amazing figure. I'm collecting the Studio Series 86 leader Dinobots. Snarl, obviously he was only in the Transformers the movie for all of about 2 seconds. You see his dino head sort of poking out of one frame, when Ultra Magnus is addressing the troops before they escape Autobot City after the Decepticon battle. The camera pans over to the right, and then you can just see Snarl's dino head poking out at the extreme left of the shot, and that's the only time you actually see him throughout the entire movie. I think somebody said there's another frame where he appears, but that's the main one anyway. So he barely qualifies as a bot that appeared in the Transformers the movie. Yet he's a Dinobot. He's one of the original Dinobots. They had to make a figure of him, and what a triumph this thing is. I think this is probably the best. Probably the best figure I've got. I mean, Grimlock's really good. Sludge is a bit meh. Slug or Slag is alright. But this guy is awesome. He's got a bit of hollowness on the inside of his legs, but I think there's a third-party company that's doing a filler panel for that. Apart from that, he's really good. Yes, the tail in the Dino mode looks a bit stunted, but there's people complaining about the painted gold against the the mouldy yellow plastic. Yeah, I can see that as a gripe that some people might have, but as a figure, as a leader class Dinobot, he's absolutely superb. The transformation's good. He comes with a sword, which is more than what you can say for some of the other Dinobots, you know, and yeah, he's really, really good. So he was, because I got this guy and he was the best bot I got in June, this guy was an honourable mention for June. So yeah, leader class, Studio Series 86, Snarl. And finally, just to round this video off, the final honourable mention, and going back to August and September, where I was going on about this guy, the bot that this should have been is this guy. Tobot 2023 Tobot Z. This bot is absolutely superb. For a Korean toy, it's the articulation on it, you know, it's got thigh swivels, it's got a waist joint, it's got bicep swivels, you know, hasn't got ankle tilts, but you know, it's got super articulation, and he's such a bulky, chunky bot, but he can still throw some shapes. You know, even given his bulk, he has got the joints to do stuff, and the transformation on this thing is super intuitive and fun. I took this figure to TF Nation. I showed it to a bunch of people. I let people have a go at transforming it, and they figured it out. There's a few little nuances in the legs, like there's these little heel panels that to fold out, but people got it. You know, people figured it out. Amazing figure, absolutely astounding. However, I got him in August before TF Nation, and as we know, the best bot I got at TF Nation was it. So he was up against first edition, you know, Nemesis Prime or Black, you know, Dark Optimus. No contest. But because of the way these figures came out, or the way I bought these figures, I mean, they're the Tobot 2023 toy line. You had X, Y, and Z, the 3 characters that were released in the first wave, and you know, in alphabetical order X, Y, Z. I decided to get this guy before this guy. Now, if I'd have got this guy and then this guy would have been my top bot in September instead of this guy. Because, like I said, I got them, you know, the other way round, and I shouldn't have done. And it's my fault that this happened. But this guy now gets relegated to an honourable mention. But what an honourable mention. What an amazing figure. And he's definitely one of the best bots I got this year. And with that said, that's my top bots of 2023. Like I said, I really, really struggled this year, to pick a best bot. Well, you know, best bots throughout the course of the year. But you know, I got there at the end. Do I have an overall best bot of the year? That's the tough one. I really can't decide on that. There's so much good bots that are probably, in my opinion, better than all the rest. There's a few obvious candidates, but I can't choose. I cannot choose out of all the bots I've got here which was my overall #1 best bot of 2023. I've done it in the past, but I can't do it this time. But anyway, that's it. That's been my top bots of the year. This video's run out to like nearly an hour. I like to waffle, but this video does have chapters in it, so you'll be able to skip through, you know, the lists, you know, to save all the excessive waffle. So it does have that. So this is my second to last video for 2023. I do have in a couple of days' time my end of month bot haul for December, where you will be seeing where are they? Well, you'll be seeing, you know, my first and worst bots for December. Obviously, we'll be seeing her again in my end of month bot haul for December, and that's it. That's the end of this video. I've been TFI Wilderness. Hopefully you've enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in a couple of days for my end of month bot haul. So without that said, I'll bid you adieu and farewell.